The world of medicine is full of mysteries, but some cases go beyond the boundaries of logic, leaving doctors and everyone else completely baffled. From unexplained recoveries to conditions straight out of a sci-fi movie, these stories redefine the limits of human health. Brace yourself as we dive into the most bizarre medical cases in history. Number 1. The man with the unbreakable fever. In 1924, a man named John Brown experienced a constant fever of 105 degrees Fahrenheit, 40.5 degrees Celsius, for over 30 years. Despite extensive testing, doctors couldn't determine the cause. Astonishingly, Brown led a relatively normal life, baffling medical professionals who had never seen a case like his before. Or since. Number 2. The girl who cried stones. In 2014, a 12-year-old girl in Yemen stunned doctors when small stones emerged from her tear ducts instead of tears. Despite extensive testing, the cause of this condition, which lasted for weeks, remains unknown. Some suggested a psychological basis, while others believed it was a rare, unexplained medical phenomenon. Number 3. The boy who lived without most of his brain. In the 1980s, a boy in Britain, referred to as the miracle boy, baffled doctors and defied medical odds. He was born with a rare and severe condition called hydranencephaly, which caused him to lack most of his brain tissue. Instead of a fully developed brain, the majority of his cranial cavity was filled with cerebrospinal fluid. Doctors were certain he wouldn't survive past infancy, believing the absence of key brain structures like the cerebral hemispheres would make essential bodily functions impossible. Yet, to everyone's astonishment, he not only survived, but lived for over 15 years. Even more incredible, the boy could respond to stimuli, recognize voices, and express basic emotions like happiness and distress. This raised profound questions about how his body managed to perform vital functions with only a small portion of his brain, leaving medical experts unable to fully explain the phenomenon. His story became a symbol of the human body's resilience and the mysteries of the brain, challenging long-standing beliefs about how much brain matter is necessary for survival and basic consciousness. Number 4. The woman allergic to water. Imagine being allergic to something as essential as water. For one woman, this nightmare is a reality. Diagnosed with aquagenic urticaria, she develops painful hives whenever her skin comes into contact with water. Even her own sweat and tears cause a reaction, making daily life a constant challenge. Number 5. The man with tree-like growths. Didi Koswara, a man from Indonesia, became famously known as the tree man because of the unusual bark-like growths that covered his hands and feet. These massive growths, resembling tree bark, were caused by a rare genetic skin condition called epidermodysplasia verruciformis. This condition made Didi's immune system unusually weak against a particular strain of the human papillomavirus, HPV. The virus caused uncontrollable wart-like growths to form, eventually spreading across his body. Over time, the growths became so severe that they limited his ability to use his hands or move freely. Doctors performed several surgeries to remove the growths, at one point extracting nearly 13 pounds of tissue from his body. Unfortunately, the condition was not curable, and the growths would return after each surgery. Despite his struggles, Didi's story captured global attention, inspiring both compassion and scientific curiosity. His case remains one of the most extreme examples of this rare disorder, highlighting the challenges of living with such a condition and the limitations of modern medicine in treating it. Number 6. The girl who never felt pain. Gabby Gingras was born with a rare condition called congenital insensitivity to pain, which means her body cannot feel physical pain. At first glance, this might seem like a superpower, but for Gabby, it presents serious challenges and dangers. Pain is the body's way of signaling injury or harm, but without it, Gabby's body can suffer unnoticed damage. For instance, As a child, she accidentally scratched her cornea, but didn't realize it, leading to significant eye damage. Simple injuries, like biting her tongue or breaking a bone, can go undetected, escalating into more severe problems over time. To keep her safe, Gabby's family and doctors must remain vigilant, constantly checking for injuries she might not notice. Everyday activities must be carefully managed to minimize risks, turning her life into a delicate balancing act between independence and caution. Gabby's story highlights how essential pain is for survival, even though it's often seen as a negative experience. Her resilience and determination, despite these challenges, inspire admiration and awareness of this extremely rare condition. Number 7. The Pregnant Man. In 2013, a 22-year-old man in India visited the hospital complaining of abdominal pain, only for doctors to discover he was carrying a parasitic twin. This extremely rare condition, called fetus in fetu, occurs when one twin becomes enveloped by the other during early development, resulting in the host twin carrying their sibling's partially developed body. Number 8. The Woman with a Foreign Accent. In 2010, Kay Russell, a woman from the UK, experienced a life-changing event when she suffered a stroke. When she recovered, something extraordinary had happened. Her usual British accent was gone, and she started speaking with a French accent. Doctors were baffled and later diagnosed her with Foreign Accent Syndrome, FAS, a very rare condition that can happen after brain injuries like strokes or head trauma. The condition causes changes in speech patterns, rhythm, and intonation, making it sound like the person is speaking in a foreign accent, even if they've never spoken that language before. What made Kay's case even more puzzling was that she had never lived in France, learned French, or even spoken the language fluently. Yet, her speech resembled that of a native French speaker. Linguists and medical experts were left amazed, as this phenomenon is so rare that only a handful of cases have been recorded worldwide. Kay's story highlights the incredible and mysterious ways the brain works, showing how even small injuries can lead to surprising and unexplainable outcomes. Number 9. The Boy Who Couldn't Stop Growing. Robert Wadlow, known as the Alton Giant, holds the record as the tallest person in recorded history, standing 8 feet 11 inches tall. His incredible growth was caused by hyperplasia of his pituitary gland, leading to abnormal hormone production. Despite his towering stature, Robert lived only 22 years, as his size put immense strain on his body. Number 10. The Woman Who Turned to Stone. Imagine your body slowly turning to stone. This is the reality for people with fibrodysplasia ossificans. Progressiva, FOP, one of the rarest and most devastating medical conditions in the world. FOP causes soft tissues like muscles, ligaments, and tendons to gradually transform into bone, effectively freezing the body in place over time. One woman living with FOP experienced this horrifying progression firsthand. As her condition advanced, more and more of her body became immobilized. Eventually, she could no longer move as her joints and muscles calcified, leaving her trapped in a rigid statue-like state. FOP is incredibly rare, with only a few hundred cases documented worldwide. The condition often begins in childhood, with small flare-ups that cause bone growth in unusual places, like between joints or in soft tissue. These episodes worsen over time, and even minor injuries can accelerate the process. Sadly, there's no cure for FOP, and treatment options are limited to managing symptoms and slowing its progression. Despite its challenges, stories like this woman's inspire efforts to better understand and combat this mysterious condition, offering hope for those affected in the future. These cases remind us of the incredible complexity and fragility of the human body. While they leave us amazed, they also highlight the relentless quest of medical science to understand and treat the unimaginable. If you found this list fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mind-bending stories from history and science.